Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome to the next reaction video. I'm taking a look at engines of Amtrak Siemens ACS-64 as we jump right on into the Amtrak motive power school thingy, whatever you like to call it, really. But anyway, I'm back for some more edumacation here for, well, engines of Amtrak. Yeah, straight weird way I tried to word that just then. But anyway, let's not prologue this any longer. Prolong, not prologue. God, I'm struggling to speak and I'm not making much sense already. All right, let's begin.
Hey everyone,
Hey,
AmtrakGuy365 here, and today on this edition of Engines of Amtrak, I'll be discussing the Siemens ACS-64. Amtrak's Northeast Corridor had been long known for a few select engines, namely the GG1, E60, AEM7, and HHP8. With time, though, the 1930s-era GG1 would eventually fade out in favor of the newer AEM7. These Swedish-inspired locomotives, nicknamed meatballs and toasters, would act as the backbone of Amtrak's commuter services up and down the NEC beginning in 1978. They were boxy, quick, but most importantly, reliable.
And friend-shaped. Because I did see that tier list video of yours a while ago. Very friend-shaped toasters. Good little machines they were.
They would even see a rebuild phase from 1999 to 2002 to extend their career. During the development of the Acela Express in the mid to late 1990s, the HHP8 was created and went into service between 1999 and 2001. These were made to supplement the retirement of the E60 units, along with the AEM7 units going down for maintenance. The AEM7 refurbishment program went well, giving the toasters improved technology and performance. On the other hand, the HHP8 was proving to be problematic. In 2002, all 15 locomotives were temporarily withdrawn along with the Acela Express due to shared cracking in the trucks. Even when fixed, the HHP8s were still no good for service. Continued issues included wheel slip, especially in the fall.
Yep, that's not good.
Microprocessors malfunctioning in adverse temperatures, cab signals failing, among other performance issues. By 2009, the locomotives were undergoing unscheduled maintenance every 12.6 days on average. This soon forced Amtrak to begin development of a replacement locomotive. However, not only would it replace the HHP8, but the AEM7 too.
I mean, to be honest, 8,000 horsepower for a 4-axle passenger locomotive is a bit much, don't you think? So I guess it was bound to have the wheel slip issues anyway, regardless of the weather. But that's just my guess.
Ladies, listen up. The video showing the pink salt trick that melts belly fat while you
I don't
sleep
care,
has
Oprah.
already passed
Go
20.
away.
As was typical with Amtrak's electric locomotives, the railroad looked to Europe for inspiration. The basis for this new unit would be the Eurosprinter and Vectron series of locomotives. However, heavy modifications would be required to meet American standards. This engine would come to be known as the Amtrak Cities Sprinter, and its technical name, the Siemens ACS-64. An order of 70 locomotives was placed in October 2010 at a cost of $466 million US. The locomotive would be the Siemens ACS-64. An order of 70 locomotives was
Those are LED lights, right? Never liked those.
Placed in October 2010 at a cost of
on locomotives. I've never liked LEDs on those at all.
$466 million US. The locomotive would be completed with contributions from several different states and factories. As for the American modifications, positive train control or PTC, crumple zones, an anti-climber, and a much more durable cap were implemented. The locomotive, similar to the Genesis series, has a monocoque or single shell body design.
Monocoque, what? Let me turn on the subtitles here for a second.
Locomotive, similar to the Genesis series, has a monocoque.
Monocoque. That's supposed to be a French word or something? Because I've seriously never heard that before. nor am I even familiar with the term.
Cab were implemented. The locomotive, similar to the Genesis series, has a monocoque or single shell body design. Other additions included advanced safety systems and special couplers designed to prevent jackknifing or rolling over in a derailment. Compared to its predecessors, the ACS-64 would be much more energy efficient and cost-friendly to operate. They make use of regenerative braking, which, when activated, feeds unused electricity back into the overhead wire system for other trains to use. With regards to technical specifications, the name ACS-64 stands for Amtrak City Sprinters, and the 64 stands for 6.4 megawatts of power. They're rated for a top speed of 125 miles per hour and
Whoa. Hold on a second. 8600 HP from these things? Have these things not had the similar issues to the HHP8s by any chance? If so, then how? Like, I always figured that if there was too much horsepower for a smaller 4-axle diesel locomotive, it's bound to have wheel slip issues and cracking elsewhere. At least I kind of have that idea in my head. But I don't know. I guess there must have been some technical advancements when developing these things. But yeah, sorry. Carry on.
megawatts of power. They're rated for a top speed of 125 miles per hour and produce 8,600 horsepower. They weigh in at 215,537 pounds. They come in at a length of 66 feet, 8 inches, a width of 9 feet, 9.5 inches, and a height of 12 feet, 6 inches. The ACS-64 comes equipped with a Nathan K5LA air horn.
Let's hear
Here's
it.
a few samples.
That's a nice unit. I can get a better look at that. Oh, it's one of those honoring troops units, I think. It's got a cool livery. Those ones never disappoint.
Amtrak's order of 70 locomotives, numbered 600 to 670,
Oh, of course, there's no 666 unit. I mean, with something called superstitions, they could never dare to try that again. I mean, we had units like EJ&E 666, CSX 666, ATSF 666, and so on and so forth. Like, I've never understood the big deal with superstitions like that, with 666 units, having to renumber them like that. I mean, yes, I know it's associated with hell and whatnot, but I don't see the big deal. I just think it's pointless and stupid. But whatever. Tangent aside. Rest in paradise. Former 666 units. And onward. So, again, let's continue.
would begin delivery in February 2013. Amtrak and Siemens unveiled the first 3 completed locomotives on May 13, 2013. Testing would take place during the summer that year with numbers 600 and 601 at the Transportation Technology Center in Pueblo, Colorado, and number 602 on the Northeast Corridor. With tests proving successful, revenue service would begin a little under a year later. A day prior to the first revenue run on February 6, 2014, then Amtrak CEO and President Joseph Boardman and then U.S. Vice President Joe Biden visited 30th Street Station in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to give speeches about the importance of the new locomotives and the Northeast Corridor.
We're delivering in the middle of a time that it's hard to deliver anything in this nation from infrastructure.
It's hard to imagine what life would be along the corridor without Amtrak.
Biden would also tour ACS-64 locomotive number 600. The next day, on February 7th, locomotive number 600 entered revenue service as the first ACS-64 on Northeast Regional Train number 171 from Boston, Massachusetts to Washington, D.C. The first run went very well, with the train running right on time. The Sprinters would prove to be the successful and modern replacement for Amtrak's aging fleet of electric locomotives. Later that year, on November 7th, Amtrak had retired the last of their HHP-8 locomotives, placing them into storage. The retired units would be renumbered to 680 to 694 to avoid duplication with the ACS-64 units. Around this time as well, ACS-64 number 600 was named David L. Gunn after Amtrak's CEO and president who led the railroad between 2002 and 2005. On another unfortunate note, on May 12, 2015, ACS-64 number 601 was involved in a derailment in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this derailment is the first thing that pops up in my head whenever I think of these things. Unfortunate, I know.
Pennsylvania. Traveling 102 miles an hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone, the train veered off a 4-degree curve. Of the 238 passengers and 5 crew members, 8 were killed and over 200 were injured, with 11 critically injured.
Awful.
The National Transportation Safety Board ruled that the engineer had been distracted and lost situational awareness, leading to the crash. Another reasoning for the wreck was a lack of operational automatic train control and positive train control on that particular section of track. Amtrak would soon install ATC in the section after the derailment. On a more positive note, the ACS-64 would find new life on the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, or SEPTA. May 2015 saw the operator place an order for 13 units to replace their AEM-7s and single ALP-44. The new locomotives would be delivered to SEPTA in December 2017. Back on Amtrak.
And again, these units here look pretty good in this game.
4. The new locomotives would be delivered to SEPTA in December 2017. Back on Amtrak, Unit number 642 would be delivered with a special veterans scheme in May 2015. Meanwhile, the AEM-7s were gradually being phased out throughout 2015 and into 2016. Before they could be completely replaced, tragedy would once again strike the ACS-64s.
What happened
On April 3, 2016, southbound Palmetto train number 89 struck a backhoe in Chester, Pennsylvania, derailing the train. 2 track workers were killed and 39 people were injured. Locomotive number 627 was severely damaged along with 2 passenger cars. A couple months later, Amtrak's final ACS-64 would be delivered. Number 670 was completed on June 2, 2016. Amtrak and Siemens celebrated, and it concluded with the unit being towed on Joseph Boardman's train heading for Washington, D.C. Number 670 would enter service that August. This celebration would be somewhat bittersweet, though. With all the ACS-64s now delivered, this meant the few remaining AEM-7s and their careers would soon be over. AEM-7 number 942 and 946 made their final run on June 18, 2016. The train was a farewell excursion that ran between Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia. This marked the end of an era on the Northeast Corridor.
Yep, so long to those brave little toasters. Little workhorses they were, too.
Finally passing the torch over to the ACS-64s. While the Sprinters are a sharp departure in appearance from their predecessors, they continue to serve Amtrak well up until this day in 2021. They're sleek, modern, fast, and reliable. The ACS-64 has definitely made its mark, and as of now, continues to make its mark on the history book of Amtrak, the National Railroad Passenger Corporation.
Indeed, and even with the P-42s still soldiering on, especially with how bad the Chargers have been the last few years. These things have left their mark despite everything else. And I would really love to see you cover the Aero train whenever possible. Since I did see that the first set was delivered and towed away for testing. And so far, it's the only unit for the Amtrak Cascades portion of the company. And it looks really good in the paint scheme. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it. Let me know what you think down below. Original video will be in the description as always. So thank you all for watching. Appreciate your patience as well. So again, original video will be in the description as always. Let me know what you think down below. So Thank you again, everybody. See you next time.